Hello.
Where am I? Slytherin shirt. Where am I? Harry Potter pants.
Okay, hey, hi, hello, welcome to this travesty that I call a YouTube channel. Today I thought that it would be super exciting for me if I told you, whoever may be watching this, my top 10 favorite Harry Potter scenes. If you're looking at my bookshelf, you're noticing that a book is missing. That's because it's right here with my notes in it and also has a certain page marked. I'm going to recite this list from least important to most important, and that is how it's gonna go. So with that being said, let's go ahead and roll into the video and just stop procrastinating. Okay, so my number 10 favorite scene that we don't hear about in the movies is going to be learning about Nifflers and Bowtruckles in the Harry Potter series. Obviously, we all know, if we've come across an ad, seen the movies, read anything about the movies, seen people tweeting, anything, that the Fantastic Beasts series have Nifflers and Bowtruckles, which, of course, if you've seen the movies of Harry Potter, you know we learn nothing about, and are left to wait to learn about them until the Fantastic Beasts series comes to life. But if you have read the books, you already knew about them and you were confused as to why we never met them in the movie series. So that one's not really anything to do with the storyline, but it does help you connect the two a little bit more, so it is a little bit sad that we don't get to see them in the movie. Maybe it's because CGI wasn't that great, or maybe they just didn't feel that they were necessary for the storyline. I think it would have been really cool to see them in both films, but I see that it's not, you know, dire for the storyline. Number 9 is going to be Dobby wearing all of the hats that Hermione has knitted. This scene also not super necessary to the storyline, but it does give you a peek into how great of a character Dobby was, as well as how great Hermione was for caring so much about creatures. That is one thing as a whole that makes me sad that we don't get to see. I think that's the whole Potter community. We're all sad that we didn't get to see Hermione care about the elves so much. I will talk about that more in one of the later points that I have. I'll touch on that. Number 8 for this list, rolling right along, is going to be Tonks finding Harry in the train after Malfoy knocks him out, and not Luna. In the movies, we see that Luna finds him because she sees Nargles in his head, but in the book, it is Tonks that finds him, and we get to learn about her Patronus a little bit when they go up to the gate together, and that's a scene that I wish we had been able to see in the movie. For multiple reasons. One, it would have given us a little bit more backstory on Patronuses, which I am all for. 2, we would have gotten more Tonks, and if you don't want more Tonks, then get out of here. Number 7 is a very meaty one that I was going to put closer to the beginning or closer to the end of the list because I really do care about it, but I had a few others that just cut the list above it, so this one is stuck at number 7, which is Harry didn't break the Elder Wand in the end of the book. He did not break it and throw it off the side of the bridge thing. Harry took the wand to Dumbledore's portrait in the headmaster's office and told him that he was going to put it in his tomb so that when Harry passed away, there was no transfer of power. Nobody could get it. The spell was broken. I guess breaking it kind of does that as well, but what if some magical wizard comes along in like 500 years and can repair wands really well? You know what I mean? You can see where the problem is with that ideal. Okay, number 6 is going to be one that is dire to the story that I wish they kind of would have put into the film, but they didn't, and it would have given a really great backstory for a minor character, but they didn't, which is Crookshanks and Sirius. That was a whole friendship that we lost out on in the movies. Crookshanks and Sirius have a whole thing that is so adorable to me. Even though they barely touch on it in the books, I wish they would have barely touched on it in the movie just because it's such a cute thing to me. And I love Crookshanks. They picked a great cat for that role. Would have loved to see him running across the field with Sirius, but it's fine. I'm over it. I just wanted to mention it because I really do enjoy that scene. I think it's really funny and adorable. Alright, number 5 is going to be getting deeper into my feelings. So number 5 is going to be Harry solves a riddle in the maze in the Goblet of Fire. In the Goblet of Fire in the movie, we really get the very skin and bones bare minimum of what happens in the maze. If you haven't read the books, then this is all gonna sound very crazy to you, but if you have read the books, then you know what I'm talking about. So in the books, Harry actually runs into a sphinx, and it gives him a riddle, and he has to solve it to get past it to continue with the maze. There's other scenes in the maze where he's like up in no gravity and that kind of stuff, but this scene specifically I thought was really great. We got to meet a new creature. It was very surprising. I don't think anybody would have suspected it unless you looked at the header for that title. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but this is what the Sphinx looked like. That's what the Sphinx looked like, and it was very confusing to see that at the beginning of the chapter, but it was a fun included scene, and it gave you a little bit more juice and scary or challenging ways to get through the maze other than making sure that Fleur didn't get taken by a plant. That's definitely a scene that I missed from the books that we didn't get to see meet the screen. Number 4 is great. I wish it would have been in the movies because they could have made it great. They chose not to. It's fine. I'm over it. But it is going to be Harry and George beating up Malfoy. If you have read the Harry Potter series and you don't think that this scene should have been included, you are highly mistaken. Reading that Harry and George literally beat up Malfoy until they were physically pulled off is a great scene. And also he deserved it because in the books he was such a snide little... He full-heartedly deserved that beating, and I wish they would have included it in the film because seeing Daniel Radcliffe run at Tom Felton like that would have been great. Not in a creepy way, just because he is arrogant and deserves it. Number 3 is one that I am exceptionally passionate about, and again, it's one that every Potterhead thinks, and if they don't, I'm not sure that we're part of the same fandom. It is every Winky scene. And again, if you have only seen the movies and you haven't read the books, then you probably think I'm crazy, but every Winky scene is adorable and precious, even when she's a drunk. So I knew I kept this book down here because I knew I was going to want to show you this, but this is Drunk Winky. Yeah, I missed the Winky scenes. They would have been great along with all the Dobby scenes. It just is a lot of elf content that I missed out on in the movies and I had no idea about. So I just lived blissfully until last year, and then I found out that I had missed out on them, and I'm exceptionally sad about it. The final 2 were a toss-up for me because I didn't know how to put them, but I arranged them with interest as number 2 and emotion as number 1, as usual. Number 2 is going to be every backstory slash plotline following the Marvolo family slash Horcruxes. We learn the bare minimum about Horcruxes in the movie series, which is fine. I loved the movie series, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to drag the movie series in this at all. I love the movie series, and I wouldn't change them. I wish there was extra scenes put into them, but it's nothing that I'm too upset about. I loved getting the chance to read about them, so it's fine. But something I would have liked to see would be the backstory for Voldemort. It's great. It's a really great backstory and makes me not hate him as much as I should. And by that I don't mean that it makes him sound like a nice guy, because it really doesn't. But the whole backstory is very interesting to me, and like the timeline, the chain of events part of it, everything. Very fascinating to me. I loved those scenes with a passion. Loved the Marvolo family scenes, the Horcrux scenes, when Tom Riddle is working in the shop in Hogsmeade. Oh no, what is that shop called? It's not in Hogsmeade, actually. We have a new member. Now I'm nervous. Okay, back to what I was saying. So those scenes were really cool. I wish we would have seen them just because I really enjoyed seeing the whole backstory and learning more about Tom Riddle. I guess it doesn't matter because we still get to see a little bit of Tom in the Half-Blood Prince, but it would have been great to see as much as we see in the actual book because I really enjoyed all of the scenes about the Marvolo family and learning about the more in-depth parts of the Horcruxes. So again, number one is going to be purely on emotion. I chose this one because it was the first time I felt the most emotion in the series that really pulled me in, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna finish the series. And that was the final chapter of Prisoner of Azkaban, which is by far my favorite book, and that is the part slash scene slash pages that Harry gets the letter from Sirius telling him that he can go to Hogsmeade. I love that scene. It's so cute. Ron gets Pidgewiggin, which is another character that nobody from the movies knows about. It's a little owl that Sirius sends Ron. I love that scene. I love Pidgewiggin. I wish he would have been in the movies, but he's not, and that scene just made me feel so many feels because it was adorable. We got to see Harry finally have a family member that he loved that was actually a family member, and sweet. It was just a really great scene, and I wish we would have been able to see Harry get that letter to go to Hogsmeade. Okay, so that is all I came up with for today. I know that after I post this and watch it through a few times while editing, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, there was another scene that I wish I would have put in here, but if that happens, then I might make a later video with my second top 10 favorite scenes. Maybe, I don't know. I know for sure that I want to do a video of my top 10 favorite movie scenes because there are a few that aren't in the book that are in the movies that I would like to note that I really love, and so I probably will do that next if I do another sit down video next. I don't know if I will. But nonetheless, that is going to be all for today. If you liked that, please feel free to like it below. If you have questions or anything and you want to comment, then comment below and let me know what your favorite scenes were from the book or the movie, either one. And other than that, thanks for watching. Bye!